The all-new Motorola Razr, unmistakable, unexpected, unparalleled, and unwanted. But wait, there's more. It folds? That's right. Just like the original Razr that you forgot about and never wanted back, you can relive the days of physically opening and closing your cellular device to your heart's content. A phone just like Grandma used to make. It includes top-notch features such as half the battery life of other smartphones, mid-tier processing power, and no SD card slot for extra storage space. Tired of the hassle of outdated, messy SIM card slots? Not to worry, the new Razr has you covered. It doesn't have one. You heard that right, so no need to worry if this mess of a phone will work with your carrier, because chances are it won't. And for you hardcore photography nerds out there, the Razr's single main camera will have you editing for hours to get them looking as good as pictures taken with most other phones. And it comes with a second 5-megapixel camera on the front for those special moments you want to copy those grainy and out of focus pictures and videos from the early 2000s. And if this phone wasn't bad enough, it also doesn't have a headphone jack, because everyone loved when companies have done that before. All of this can be yours for the low price of $1,500. That's right, $1,500. So hurry now.
No, I don't think I will.
The new Motorola Razr, the overpriced fashion accessory no one asked for. Hey, how's it going? It is Ryan from the Device Casting Couch podcast, and today on the couch is the Motorola Razr 2019 edition. You've probably seen the hastily put together and badly edited commercial little parody thing that I did earlier. Obviously, it was a little exaggerated. However, I just wanted to do a little, not really review afterwards, but just talk a little bit about the phone. It is new tech. I love new tech and emerging tech, and that's what we do on this channel, is talk about technology. So the new Motorola Razr, I didn't want to watch a ton of reviews on this. I wanted to get all my info from Motorola themselves to see what they were saying about this phone and how the phone actually was. But they didn't really have a whole lot. The only official helpful video on Motorola YouTube or their site or anything like that was their behind the scenes video. It's 2 minutes 44 seconds, I believe, and it goes into the research and development, and they focus heavily on the research and development of this phone, which is what this phone is. It's a product of engineering. It's not an amazing phone. The hardware is not that great. It's mid-tier at best. But the research and development that went into this is the heavy-hitting portion of this. The fact that it's a clamshell folding smartphone is its selling point. So the specs that I brought up in the little parody commercial thing, all those were true. It does not have a SIM card slot. I understand there are carriers that support eSIM, such as Verizon, which is going to be the carrier for this phone for the foreseeable future. No SD card slot for extra storage. I know a lot of people don't really care about that. I do personally. I think it's important to have external storage, just because I don't like the whole cloud storage thing, just storing stuff on your cloud. I want to be able to have it physically in front of me. It doesn't have 5G capability for those that care about that. I don't really care about that because 5G, in my opinion, has a long way to go, but that's a topic for another time. And the camera, again, this phone is not being sold for its hardware, but the camera's, it's not great. It's nothing to write home about. It's, you know, they don't really show it that a whole lot in the commercials or anything, just because that's not really the selling point. It is on their website a little bit, but the pictures really aren't that good taken with a cell phone. The handful of reviews that I did watch and read, all of them pretty much agreed that the camera was not that great. So the outside camera, that's the 16 megapixel one, that one, it's decent, but it's not great. I mean, cameras are being sold with freaking 3-4 cameras with a host of sensors around them to I mean, you can take a freaking class and for photography with an iPhone. I mean, there's so much you can do with those. With this one, it's just a camera. That's all it's for. Just snap a picture and be done. And then obviously the inside camera, once you unfold it, that one is just the 5 megapixel one, and they were adamant that it was only for like video calling. It wasn't meant to take amazing pictures. That's why you flip the phone down and you take selfies that way, so you have a little better quality. So I have some pros and cons that I kind of gathered through reading on their site from the little info that they had. Their commercials didn't really tell a whole lot about the phone. It just kind of showed it spinning a bunch of times, and there's some vague storyline going on in the background like any other, car or perfume commercial. It's just freaking useless. But that background or behind the scenes video did have a bunch of info in it, and then the rest I gathered from some other articles and videos of people reviewing this. So in that behind the scenes video as well, just before I go into the pros and cons, Jeff Snow, the product GM, he did say the first words you hear in that video are, "We didn't set out to recreate the Razr." And I definitely agree with that. That it makes a lot more sense, I guess, when you say it that way. And then he goes on to say, the world was just ready for a new Razr and blah, blah, blah. But those are the first words you hear. We didn't set out to recreate the Razr. They just modernized it, which Jessica Dulcourt from CNET also brought up, quote, "This is the original Razr flip phone from 2004, reimagined for the modern age." And I definitely agree with that. It's just reimagined for the modern age. This isn't anything new. It's just a folding smartphone. And she goes on to say that it says futuristic edge, a sharp futuristic edge. I don't really agree with that, but whatever. Another article that I think summed it up nicely was Paul Douglas from T3.com, and he said, quote, "Let's be clear, if you're parting with $1,500 for this phone, you're paying for the looks and the research and development work that has gone into the folding screen and not for the cutting edge components." I also totally agree with this as well. As you can probably tell, I don't get this phone. It's not cutting edge at all, besides the research and development and the folding hinge. That is amazing. Everything else in it is just another low-grade phone. And when put up against like the Samsung Galaxy Fold or whatever, even though Samsung Galaxy Fold is way more expensive, it's just it falls flat. It doesn't really compare with those. So the pros and cons that I kind of gathered. The cons, the marketing seems to be directed towards other competition's flagship phones, which I thought was kind of weird. Like the huge selling point, I think they should focus only on, hey, it's a smartphone that folds. That's all I would focus on. I mean, it's more compact. It from what the reviews were saying, it feels nice in your hand to flip it open and flip it closed. It doesn't feel flimsy. It feels sturdy. I mean, your screen will get damaged less once it's closed. They said it's water resistant, so they said they were pretty nonchalant about, getting sweat and stuff on your phone. There's a crack in the hinge when it folds though, so I don't know if I would submerge it or anything. But they said it's, it'll do well with as far as resistance, water resistance. And then obviously the price tag is another con. I don't think it's really worth the price tag. $1,500 is a lot for a mid-grade phone that has one gimmick that sets it apart. Yeah, I wouldn't pay $1,500 for it, but hey, that's just me. I'm cheap. The pros for it, obviously, the R&D that went into this. They make a really impressive hinge with like little teardrop fold thing that it does. I thought that was really cool. Very different from what other people are doing, I'll give them that. And it works. It seems very sturdy. They said in the video that they put it through a bunch of testing, stress tests of opening, folding, opening, folding, opening, folding, and then as well putting stuff into the hinge to see if it catches and breaks the hinge. And as far as I can tell, it did very well. So again, it's a very new phone. I haven't gotten my hands on it. I plan to in the near future just to see how it feels and functions. But from the looks of it, it seems like a pretty solid phone, a solid mid-tier phone. It's just super pricey. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. I just want to make a short little video just after the little parody commercial thing, just explaining more about the phone, I guess, and what I think about it. I'm excited to see what this does to the cell phone field and the market. I know other companies are obviously looking into this sort of folding smartphone thing. Obviously the Samsung Fold, as I said before, the new Microsoft Duo. From the commercial that I saw for it on their website, it looks like it's a phone and a tablet and a laptop thing, because they show them taking calls and stuff like that, but that won't be out till next year, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that. But that it does look interesting. It looks really bulky. Even when she answers the phone, it's not on that side. The camera's on the other side of her. I wonder if they did that on purpose or not, because it looks very large, and it folds open like a laptop. It's not like the screens are dual, but they're not connected. So it kind of, I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's a topic for another time. But anyway, I don't know if you want to comment and let me know if I'm crazy, if you agree, or don't comment, whatever. I mean, as long as you watched, hey, that makes me happy, and I like talking about tech regardless. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'll give it that, and I'm excited to see how this plays out in the future. So if you got $1,500 to spend on a fashion accessory, definitely go out and get the new Motorola Razr 2019, only with Verizon. So yeah, bye.